There was a lot. A lot. Like, yeah. I think, it was I think it was dry hopped around about 11 grams a litre or something like that. It's like, man, when you open this beer, you can smell it across the room. When people are pouring it off tap, it's like, what is that?
Right. So what's hops? It's just some grainy sort of...
It's basically like a flower, right? So it grows on a vine. So I think the difference between a vine and a vine is a vine will grow itself up things or something like that. I'm not sure that maybe it's a climber or something, whereas a vine just is useless. It kind of just grows on the ground unless you give it something to grow up. So
maybe like a watermelon?
Yeah. Like, let's just say like that, for instance. Okay. And then, you give it something to grow up and it basically, just twists right up it. So these guys, I think commercially, they grow it on, 4-metre kind of strings and cables and stuff, or whatever it is, baling twine, and then go along and create it. But, yeah, the hop itself is a flower and it's full of resin. So that's why it's kind of related to hops, right? So you're after these oils that are, in the lupulin glands. I can't even say it properly. It's a big word for me right now.
Is it a natural plant of Australia?
Well, like native to Australia? No, I don't think so.
Wow. Let's Google it. Can I Google it right now?
Yeah, please do. I'm pretty sure it's it comes from Europe or something like that. Okay. But you can imagine...
Is hops the word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lupus lupulin is the scientific name for it, I think. Pretty sure.
Here we go.
And it means like Wolf of the Willows. Or, hey, I used to sell their beer, but anyway, let's not go there.
Oh, look at that. Right, yeah, okay. It is like a bud sort of looking deal.
Yeah, it does. It's called like a cone, I think. I think it's called like a hop cone.
Homilus lupulus.
Oh, there you go. Lupulus lupulus.
They use primarily
as
a flavouring and stability agent in beer, to which they impart bitter, zesty and citric flavours, though they are also used for various purposes in other beverages and herbal medicine.
Good for sleeping.
Okay.
But also preservative factors too.
I want to find out. The first documented use of hops in beer is from the 9th century, though Hildegard of Bingen, 300 years later, is often cited as the earliest documented source. I want to find out where. The old German name is the next bit.
Yeah, what does that say? What's the old German name? Did you scroll past it? Sorry.
Okay.
I'm just interested in that.
Yeah, 300 days is often cited as... before this period, brewers used Gruit.
Oh, yeah.
Composed of
Is it like a fruit beer and spice beers and stuff
wide variety of bitter herbs and flowers, including dandelion, burdock root, marigold, horehound. The old German name for horehound is Berghofen.
Okay.
Meaning mountain hops.
Yeah, right, sweet.
Ground ivy and heather.
Yeah. See, the Scottish use heather, I think, for Scotch ales.
History. I'm just trying to find out where it's native of. The first documented hop cultivation was in the Hallertau region of Germany. It's still actually that I bought 3 different hop rhizomes this year, and Hallertau is the first one to come up, and it's growing really well. Excellent.
The problem is it's really low alpha acid, so it's sort of like suited for pilsners, not really nice big hoppy beers like what we're making. But don't tell anyone that, okay?
Okay. This is interesting stuff, mate, because I've never been a gardener, you know that. I've never, so when I see some reality in things, it's like, that's really interesting. And where it started, because I always think of, why, I'll get it out right now. I don't do drugs anymore. It's been a long time that I've partied.
Yeah, that's a shame, man.
But my question is, I went on a pretty wild, I went to a pretty wild party recently, and everyone was on cocaine.
Okay.
And it made me think, well, that's just a tree.
Yeah.
You know? Did you ever see Papillon?
No, but I read this book called Marching Powder that was pretty awesome.
Okay, yeah, right.
Young. But anyway, yeah.
Well, it's just a leaf. And there's a bit in this movie where Papillon just chews a leaf, and he's in South America, I think. Yeah. Next minute, he can run forever. He's out running the cops. And it made me think, well, come on, with all this natural, what farming you can do anywhere in the world now.
Yeah.
It surprises me that in this day and age, you're not finding massive crops of cocaine or the cocoa being, same with hops. Yeah. Does anyone have a big greenhouse of hops right next to their cocaine plantation?
Not on the Gold Coast.
No,
I don't know.
Well, but you know what I'm saying? No shipments of seeds or anything have been found.
Of hops?
Oh, both. Like,
yeah. Well, hops. I'm pretty sure they just trade in rhizomes.
Because I want to grow hops.
That's
in
how I
Currumbin
bought
Valley.
it. Yeah.
How about that?
Is that all you want to grow? Well,
No.
Sorry. Look. Basically, I'm having to go at growing some hops. We're going to need to. Like we are zoned rural. We want to be like arguing or presenting our case to the council that with our zoning as in rural designation that we're like a winery which falls under material use of the land. So in doing that, I'm looking at what hop cultivars I can grow because I'm going to have to put in a certain amount of these hops into my beer. And so I'm going to have a vineyard per se rather than a vine or a vineyard. For wine, I'm going to have a vineyard for my beer. And so that's part of the thing at the moment. So what I'm trying to grow. But what I got was hop rhizomes. So around about sort of, I think it's July, maybe August, in that zone, you can start getting on eBay and looking for rhizomes, people who are selling them. I think maybe HPA does it. Google away. There's got to be people out there that can sell it. But I got mine from eBay, courtesy of Ed Oldfield from Black Ops, who gave me the lead on where to get them from. And
what is that? Rhizomes.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm talking in my organic farming terms.
Yeah.
So a rhizome is like it's like a runner, basically like grass. If you pull up grass, it's kind of like there's a long strip and everything grows off it, and that's sort of like the rhizome. So but in this case, like think of ginger. Ginger's a rhizome, like the bit that you pull out of the ground and eat. Like you can snap a bit off and put it back in the ground and it'll grow again. Something like that. Okay. Like a proper biologist or plant biologist will tell you, a botanist will tell you what goes on there. But anyway, that's out of my jurisdiction. But basically, it's like a chunk of the root that you're given, and once you put it in the ground, it starts to go again. Ah. Yeah. So
hops is good for that.
Well,
it's
hops
one of
is
those.
That's like basically it's
So it's easy to grow.
When it comes to winter at the end of the year, or when it gets cold, it all dies off and just goes back to that, and then you dig it up and chuck that in the ground and go.
Pete Wheldon, right?
Okay.
What's stopping a bunch of beer mates that you know in the Currumbin Valley just growing hops for you?
Well, this is what I'd
and
like to
donating
encourage.
to your
So
deal.
the thing is with that would be excellent. However, you'd have to be. You can do it, but
I think I will.
The problem is that it wouldn't be very commercially viable because hops like latitude. It's about the further away you are from the Tropic of Capricorn, the better they'll grow. That's why they grow really well in Victoria, even better in Tasmania, and even better in New Zealand because it's about day length. So in the summertime, you could hydroponically grow hops in Queensland.
Yeah,
Like,
in a shed or something?
You could totally fake the daylight hours and make them produce really well. But that's another. Well, actually, my neighbour used to be a hydroponics guy. The guy I worked with at Currumbin Valley Harvest, Peter Fleming. Maybe have a chat to him about setting up a hydroponic hop farm. Yeah, I think you're onto something.
I think we're onto something. There's so many beer labels.
I'd rather just have an outdoor vineyard, but hey, we could build another shed.
But with
we can use a Titan shed. We can use a Titan shed and set up a hydroponic hop farm in it.
Top idea.
I think we're on
what they're made for.
That is exactly, they're made for all kinds of things. But, man, I think we're onto something here. We have a future business project on hand.
Clearly in the Gold Coast.
Solar-powered, mega battery, Tesla. We'll get like some Tesla battery bank action going. Or we could like run it wind farm, man, up at my joint, man. Holy God.
Oh, yeah.
It's so windy.
Yeah. So, same on the beach, mate. I lived on the beach for 7 years.
We should have wind turbine powered, solar powered breweries. That's what I'm going to do.
Here's one for you. Is hops? What'd you say? Malt.
Yep.
What else?
Water and yeast.
Yeast. Which one do you use the most of in that ingredient?
Ooh, definitely grain. Or water, really. Water's,
Okay, well, you got that on tap.
Yeah. So we got spring water coming out of everywhere.
So with all these, what I'm saying...
Grain would be tough.
What is grain? Which one?
So barley, basically. So you got to... Or rye.
So you got to get that. What I'm saying is all these different brewers on the Gold Coast are getting their stuff somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. So they're like buying from, but it's not just as easy as like you just grow the grain and go, yeah, here we go. You've actually got to malt it, right? So, excuse me, the grain has to be like maltster's job, as I understand it, from a very, very like outside. I'm going to bullshit here a little bit, but
love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Look in my world.
I'm reading the malt book at the moment. Yeah. But basically,
started in Malta.
You're just getting the plant to strike. So like it's a seed, right? And you're getting it, so it's a grain, and you're getting it to like to start to grow, and then you're like toasting it. I'm pretty sure that's the deal. Like you exposing it to a certain amount of heat for a bit, and it's constantly being turned and all this stuff. So it's like kind of an even mix. So you can't just grow grain and expect to brew beer. There's an actual art form, like say Gladfield's malt in New Zealand. There's like heaps of different maltsters around the world, and in Australia
same
too.
story has to be.
But it's another whole
South
business venture. No, I don't think so.
Okay,
no, but like man, I don't know that like that's a massive industry. Like at the moment for craft beer, it's booming, booming, booming. You need people who can grow hops well. You need good maltsters, and like.
I was saying to Tom Tate, like, come on, mate. You know what I mean?
Totally, dude. Let's just fill the valley up with let's fill the valley up with hops and malt. That's a great idea because if you do that, then I can source almost all my stuff locally for my beer, all my ingredients locally for my beer,
and how cool is that?
That is perfect. I'd love that because it's
a party
becoming
town
a dying
anyway.
art. Well, let's look at it honestly. It used to be made like comprised of banana farms and dairies, the valley, and you have one look along it now, and you can see it's all camphor laurel. So unless we're going into milling camphor laurel, which we probably should, we beer would be great. Why not?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's never going to go away. That's the thing about beer and alcohol and food.
Yeah,
it will never
organic farms
ever
and
go
beer.
away.
Organic farms and beer. It's what. Currumbin Valley is a natural food bowl, I reckon.
Yep.
And a water bowl.
Yep.
It's great water in there too. But it lends itself. It's basalt rock. It's like really mineral. It's fertile ground, super fertile. Yep. And if you run animals there, then you've kind of got that processing of like what you're putting in, you're getting out kind of thing. It's almost a loop. And then if you're growing veggies as well, you're using that animal like manure for helping grow the veggies, the whole lot. That you can almost make it holistic in my mind. It's a little bit far fetched, but to some degree, you could almost run it as a closed circuit. It'd be great.
Can I ask you, when you buy hops, do you buy it in a bag, like a bag of grain? Or like I'm a punter, like so I'm picturing you in your car picking up bags of,
and I'm getting like a vacuum packed. Like pelletized hop bag.
Pelletized even?
Yeah. It's like if you buy, like going back to fertilizer again.
Okay,
it's like that. It's
okay.
like, when you buy pelletized fertilizer, it's the same.
Interesting.
You can buy hop flowers.
Is it expensive?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's a supply and demand thing. I mean, at the moment, man, the demand is epic.
Of course.
Because everyone needs hops for these hoppy beers
growing
that we're
that shit.
addicted
I'm going to tell you right now.
Dude.
I'm going to start looking for...
You can, but my advice to you would be get a big Titan shed.
Got one.
Yep. We need to jam in it. You're going to have to let that bit go. and then grow some hydroponic hops in it because, like, really, and even then...
What about cocaine?
No.
Yeah, but it will help us work harder.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, nah.
Just joking.
But, like, whether it would be viable on a... commercially to do it that way, I'm not sure. Because you got to compete.
It's got to be the next thing. It's got to be. Come on, organic farming.
I've got an idea. That's you and I go to Tasmania or New Zealand.
Yep, done
with our families
tomorrow.
For a holiday.
What?
Yeah. All right, we'll just go anyway. and then we'll find a block of land that's reasonably flat with a good water source, and then we'll start our hop farm.
Man, there's loads of property in Tasmania.
Yeah, because that's really what needs to happen. And there's
I'm going to Google Tasmanian hops farm.
And then the next thing is we've got to find out where we can get all our rhizomes from, because that would be a bit tricky. But seriously, if you're going to go into doing that, that's probably the better place to do it.
It was the first search in Google.
Is what?
Tasmanian hops farms.
There you go. Which one is it?
First one is Our Farms. Hops Products Australia. The Ovens Valley in Victoria and the
HBA.
Derwent Valley in Tasmania.
There you go.
All right. Okay, and there's a picture of the hops growing up like
That's the vine.
there.
Look at that. There's a crazy look. That little track